I'm Alex Krichman.
I'm Kuchera.
I'm Saenz.
I'm Natalie Gervais. And this is our senior project. We did a mural. We began by cleaning the wall so we would be able to work on a fresh canvas. Then we primed the area that we sectioned off to ensure that the paint would adhere properly to the wall.
Our original intention for the mural was to be on already primed areas on the senior stage, with our design being symmetrical between the two areas. We later found out that another mural group got to the spot where we originally intended our design to be. This culminated in a meeting between the two groups where we ended up losing out on the spot due to being behind on paperwork. After debating between the remaining areas within the school, we decided on the final area in the 60s hall.
We sketched out our design, improvising certain aspects of our sketch as we progressed.
With the original sketch, we wanted a more intricate design pattern based on the other murals in the Sacramento area. We wanted our mural to be indicative of key aspects of our school, mainly the diversity among student backgrounds. We landed on a mural that culminated different patterns of various cultures that would blend all into a homogeneous piece.
A very important aspect of our mural design was created and inspired from student involvement. We reached out to all the English teachers and had them inform students about our Google form that we created. This form was intended to pull ideas from the students about what they want from their culture represented in our mural. We used the information gathered from student involvement for inspiration when choosing patterns and colors to incorporate into our final design.
Once we finalized our sketch, we began mixing our paint. After distributing our Google form, we received very helpful feedback. The colors that the students were most interested in seeing in a mural on campus were red, yellow, green, and blue, which just so happened to be our class colors. How awesome is that? Through this information, we decided to incorporate the class colors into our design. We started out by filling in the base colors, which were the darkest shades of red, blue, green, and yellow, and then we created lighter shades of each color to add dimension to the design. Throughout this process, we used our phones to film, which were propped up using Alex's tripod to time-lapse our work.
As part of our initial project proposal, we created an expected timeline for our mural. This was just a basic idea of how long it would take for us to complete the project, but not everything went according to plan. The initial scope of the timeline would have had us finishing our mural by the end of April, but really it took us till the end of May. The first and most important obstacle we faced was the special project request paperwork. In order to get district approval for a mural, you need to complete this large stack of paperwork with very specific requirements. The first time we submitted our paperwork, it was denied and we had to redo it. This required a lot of coordination between our group and Miss Rowland, but we were eventually able to get our project approved. What this means is that it will not be painted over in years to come.
An unexpected challenge that we came across once we began painting was regarding the materials that we were using. Within the first few minutes of applying paint to the mural, we realized how thin the paint was straight from the bottle, and that it would require many coats in order to fully develop. While we created more shades by adding white and black, the opacity was improved, specifically when we added white to the base colors. The time it took us to complete the mural would have been significantly decreased if we had invested in better quality paint that required less layers. Overall, we painted everything at least 2 or 3 times to achieve the finish that we were looking for.
Due to most of us being in AP Art, once we submitted our portfolios, we were left with a few free periods. These gave us the opportunity to work on our mural during the school day. Although we were very thankful that our teachers allowed us to work on our mural during class time, the weather was certainly a challenging obstacle that we had not anticipated. In the morning, cold, harsh wind made the experience of being outside utterly miserable. To contrast these intense colds, the afternoons were very hot. We usually spent about 3 or 4 hours painting after school in this unbearable weather. Despite these factors, most days went smoothly, and we were very grateful to be able to work outside.
When we decided to create a mural on campus for our senior project, we always visualized it being in the quad because it's a pretty central location on campus. There were a few different location options, which included the sides of the senior stage. However, due to our scheduling, another group claimed the space and began working on their artwork. We requested approval for the wall at the end of the 60s hallway between the art classroom and the cafeteria. This became an ideal space because it is seen while coming into the quad and coming out of the cafeteria, which is also where rally decks occur after school for 2 weeks, 4 times a year. Creating the design for the mural was highly anticipated because the mural would be very permanent and will be viewed by the school from years to come. The first draft was created by Derek and is what we based the rest of our drafts on. The main idea we wanted to keep was a point in which all the patterns we used met at. When we had meetings during lunch, we discussed and created new drafts to incorporate details we thought of, like Natalie's addition of a border that created a sense of completion to our design. We researched and referenced 8 different cultural patterns that demonstrated a variety of shapes and details, and arranged them based on how they would be best shown in either red, blue, green, or yellow. Truthfully, we were not completely finished with the final arrangement of colors when we began working on the mural, but an important part of the process was changing things as we went and evaluating artistic choices based on the reality of the work we were doing. For us, that was perfect. It was nice to have an open state of mind and to be flexible to change that may have needed to happen.
Personally, I really like our mural. In the beginning, I was honestly not too fond of it, but I'm super glad that we all trusted the process because I think it came together really nicely. The design is super crisp and neat, and I think that everything in it is very cohesive, and it's a good representation of our school's culture.
This was the first mural I've ever done before, and it was a very unique experience that I was excited to have been a part of. Compared to other paintings I've done in the past, I would say this one was a lot different than those other ones because it was just on a much larger scale, and it was a different experience because I could just jump in wherever on the mural and just start painting, and it was just a lot more different.
In the end, I'm really proud of what came out of our mural. The design is just really cool, and I love that I was a part of working on such a cool project. My favorite part about working on this mural was really just being able to work with such talented artists. I myself do not really consider myself to be an artist, and so I'd say this is probably the most artistic thing I've ever done. At the beginning of the year, we all really didn't know each other that well, and through this project we all got pretty close and had to work through a lot of challenges together, which turned out to be very fun. I'm extremely proud of how our mural turned out, and I'm very, very happy that I got to be part of something that's going to stay on campus for such a long time and create such a huge impact artistically.
We would like to thank those who helped make this project possible. Ms. Rowland for assisting us through the approval process, walking us through everything step by step, and being willing to meet with us so many times. Thank you to Ms. Whitehead for letting us store our supplies in her classroom, leaving her classroom open for us hours after school dismissal, and letting us work on the painting during her class. Thank you to the teachers of the English department for distributing our form to their students, and thank you to Ms. Moore for being a wonderful advisor for our project.
I would also like to thank the other mural groups who very, very generously gave us the weatherproof sealant to put the finish on our mural. This will just prevent it from getting damaged by the weather over the years, and will just make sure it has a nice shine for a very, very long time. This really was helpful for us because we hadn't bought it yet, and right when we needed it, you guys just came and gave it to us, so thank you so much. In addition to this, I would like to give a huge thank you to anyone who was passing by and just told us that it looked nice. Towards the end, we had to put in some really long hours. We were working sometimes even 5 hours a day. You don't see it, but this is 23 hours of footage, and it's sped up 100 times. And so towards the end, it got to be very, very draining. And just those kinds of words were just so motivating and just really helped us knock it out. So thank you so much.
Bye.